You have no self-awareness. It's a skill that's dying, and it's not only visible through, everyday social interactions, but it's also something that is visible in my life. There's this guy. That's what inspired this video. This guy who smells terrible in one of my classes, and personally, it's not too hard for me to read the room and realize when people are doing dumb things. If I could actually speak. But in this case, this guy, he's a stink bomb. He smells terrible. I don't mean it in a rude way. It's objective. He smells really bad. And, I understand that he doesn't know this. I mean, I really hope he doesn't know that he smells this bad and is okay with it. But even when something isn't too socially viable that I'm doing, I can tell. And I think that's something that a lot of people are missing. And I can't begin to fathom how somebody can do something like this, smell as bad as he does. Like, he has a 10-foot radius of stench, and I just don't understand it. And I think this is a reflection of our greater society. We're not as all-knowing as we think we are. Something as trivial as somebody's smell, that might not matter a lot to me, or, I see him every once in a while. I have some classes with him. I see him in the hallways sometimes. But it not only reflects that, some people, smell bad. It shows that we're not always aware of what we put out into the world and how people perceive it. Sure, maybe you don't stink, but maybe you talk too much. Maybe you make jokes that don't land, and nobody's telling you that. And it's easy to get caught up in this circle of life and think that everything's perfect or we have to be perfect. But it's obvious that we're not machines. We're not these robots that make everything perfect or do everything perfect. People make bad decisions, or they mess up, or they say something cringy or corny, or, they might say something out of pocket. But it's not about you saying these things. It's about not being aware of how dumb they are. I mean, I'm not saying go home every night and overthink it and think, oh my gosh, I'm stupid. It's think about, was this really a normal, viable thing that I did in my life? And it's something that we have to think about when we're interacting with other people. It's easy to point fingers at the guy who smells bad, or the guy who's dumb, or the person who's dumb, or the girl that wears too much makeup. But it's hard to remember that not everybody is aware of that. Not everybody has that big picture idea of what people think of them. It's something that they have to be informed about, because it's not everybody's God-given, gift that they can read a room or they can tell that they're doing something wrong. I mean, all throughout time, people thought they were great and omnipotent and amazing, but they tend to have faults and they tend to have issues. I mean, whether it's, rulers of great empires or whatever it may be. I mean, even in our everyday lives. I mean, you think your actions don't really matter, or you think not much of them, but somebody could think a great deal about them. And that's what you have to do. You have to see how you feel about them. You have to think about how this could snowball and chain into other things, and figure out what importance it holds in your life and the lives of those you interact with. And at the end of the day, you should be you. I mean, I'm not saying to conform to society and be this perfect picture image person. I'm just saying, always be aware of how you come across. That doesn't mean to lose sense of yourself. It just means to be aware of what you put out into the world and how you seem. I mean, I'm a goofball. I act stupid. Saying goofball is a thing that's dumb. But it's just that I'm aware of it. That's what matters. Try to have that awareness. It's something that we're missing in our society. It's something that, we need. Whether you're a person in a high place or a person in a low place, it's something that is lacking in our society. And the stinky guy in the hallway made me think about this. I hope you take it in your life and consider it. And I'm glad you watched this to this point. Please support me. I'm making real content. I'm trying to push out a nice message into the world. But thanks for watching.